All right, man. First of all, I'm back at it. Cameron Jordan, New Orleans Saints defensive end, here on big Truss Levelz. You know the vibes. Everything we do is big. And I'm sitting here with my co-host. I'm sitting here with my brother. I'm sitting here with my dog, my ace, Mark Ingram, the second. And we call it big legacy vibes. His dad played in the league. My dad played in the league. And we've got years and years and years that may not add up to the many years as this man I'm about to introduce you has been in the league. When I say this man has done anything and everything at his position, I'm saying he's a GOAT for a reason. Every stat book padded. Everything he does is big. I mean, big yards, 5,000 yard seasons, 13 Pro Bowls, all pros, only Super Bowl in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Everything he does it big. He didn't know he was going to be on that big Truss Levelz. That big Drew-isiana. Drew Brees, appreciate you for hopping on, big fella.
I appreciate it. Big Truss. I'm here.
Levels. Big Truss Levels. Feel me?
Delivered by Pizza Hut. They call you Drew-isiana, Drew Orleans. You know, when you enter the stadium, they just hit them with the Drew. I'm like, damn, one day my name's going to echo like that. It's not. There's levels of everything.
It don't sound the same.
Cam, it's
Mark.
not.
No, it's just Drew.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And maybe this season they were like Jabbo, but it's not going to hit the same.
No,
it's not.
No. There's only been a few like simultaneous chants in the dome, Costa, you got the Costa, you got the Drew. Other than that,
I ain't been Spro. No. Dang.
Just keep that who dat chant going. All right.
Yeah.
And keep those keep the pregame chants live too, will you?
Without you, it used to be like when I first came in, it was you and Chase Daniels. Then it was you, and then it was
only Drew.
Yeah, but
then
Chase,
you guys added DD.
Yeah, Chase gave like phenomenal reference to how we should go about something. He gave juice to get us there. You know what I'm saying? Like
he was kind of the creative director behind the scenes. Chase was, yeah. And then Double D came in, taking the helmet off, going prowl, kill, eat.
Drool everywhere on the beard. Everything. Yeah. He gave that savage aspect that you wanted.
That was good, man. That I couldn't quite get it to that level, so that was good.
Drew, if you ever had the that Little Giants annexation of Puerto Rico, what is it? It's like Alka-Seltzer fizz going on. I'm like, oh shit,
intimidation.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Coming from the QB.
That's what I'm saying. Coming from the QB, I'm like, I might have to put him on special teams, because that was the vibes you get. Like he's a go-getter. But where did that even start up? Has that always been around? Because that was there when we first got to the team.
No, I'll tell you where that. Okay, so 06 is when I got there. When Sean Payton got there, kind of the start of the new era. And Joe Horn was kind of the emotional leader on the team, right? So Joe Horn had a little something he did for pregame, and it was good. It was hype. It got us ready. Yeah. But Joe was only there for a year. So then 07 rolls around, and I remember Reggie Bush tried to kind of take it over, and he basically just tried to mimic what Joe Horn was doing, and it just didn't quite work the same, right? You needed to come up with something fresh, something new. So we went through the 07 season. We had a bad season. And so it's like, all right, 08's rolling around. It's like, all right, what are we going to do? Because we've got to change it up. We got to make it our own. And I kind of looked around. I was like, well, it's not really my personality. Right. I mean, I go into a game wanting to just be kind of calm, cool, collected, not like, banging my head into a wall, but like a special teams guy or a defensive guy like yourself, Cam.
Right.
But I was like, somebody's got to step up and do it. So I'll come up with something fun. Well, the movie 300 came out that year. Right. So like, this is Sparta. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. That got you hyped. So I was like, all right, I'll do something off of that movie. So, first preseason game, we are at Arizona. And I told Zach Streif, I was like, hey, Streif, I got a little something for the guys, man. You got to be honest with me, though, right? I'm going to do it. I'm going to be all in. But you got to tell me if this thing tanks or if this sucks or like nobody likes it, okay? Like, be honest with me. So I get in there and I think it went something like, I was like, who are we? Saints. Who are we? Saints. Are we ready? How? Are we ready? How? And then I'd repeat it. And I was like, this is New Orleans. Oh. right? Because there's that scene in the movie where he goes, "This is Sparta," and he kicks that dude into the big black hole, right?
Absolutely.
He was disrespecting the Spartans in like his
doubt.
life, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, this will get him hyped. So I did that, and then Streef came over to me. He's like, "Man, that was real. We got to keep that going." So that was the origin of it all. 2008.
Yeah. You know, Streef was gonna keep it real with you, so yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, plenty of times Streef came over and was like, I don't
"That's
know
not it,
that, bro." Hey, bro, I don't know. I know you were trying hard. I don't know about that.
At least he'll do it like to the side though. He won't just be like,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna echo some shit. I'm like, as I'm leaving.
That wasn't it.
I don't think so.
You need some guys who are just gonna keep it real with you, right?
Got to. Everybody needs that.
Yeah. We don't want a bunch of yes men.
I was like, look, for those that don't know, Zach Streef was a left tackle or
right tackle.
I call him left tackle, but he was a right tackle.
He was a jumbo tight end back in those days.
Oh,
but and then he became the stud right tackle.
Yeah. And he's a guy that brought me in and sort of taught me some things.
Will you respect this lineman? Will you respect? You only disrespect linemen. Will you respect?
Man,
Streef?
Absolutely. I got nothing but respect for Streef because he sort of helped me perfect a lot of my speed to bull. You know what I'm saying? Like my first 2 seasons, he wouldn't tell me shit. But afterwards, like the 3rd season, he was like, "Look, man, you got something good going, but this is how you can get better." And that's what really sort of helped me ramp up the game because he refused to give me anything during training camp. He's like, I'm just gonna let you just sit me down and disrespect my job and hit my quarterback. I'm like, come on.
I was gonna say probably unlike any position though, Cam. Like think about a defensive end and an offensive tackle. Like think about how many reps you had against Zach Streef over the course of your career, his career. I mean, y'all were like 10 years straight, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It was I think it was like 8,
7.
9. No, I saw.
Was it 9?
He retired 2 years ago?
2 years ago?
8,
Yeah.
8 years straight of just bam, 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 bam. All one-on-one drills, team drills, line drills, whatever it is. It was me and Streef.
Yeah. Did y'all have those moments where you're like, "Man, I hate you," or was it was always pretty cool?
No, it was always super cool because when I first got in, I was like, man, he could teach me a lot if he just chooses to. And then like my second year, I harbored that energy and was like, he ain't teaching me shit. He's gonna have to pay. And then the 3rd year, I was like, all right, no, I get it. Okay, I think I'm just at this point, I think I'm physically better. And then from there, it was just like cultivating the mindset with them. And so he taught me a lot of things just on like how to temper through practice at sometimes. Cause I'm like full go.
Oh, 100%. You are. Yeah.
That's
what makes you great though. That's what makes you great, bro.
The energy.
Yeah.
That's right.
So now, So then it's like, but you look over, you got Drew Brees in the back. Like you can't just give Drew time, even if it's 7-on-7. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll dissect the whole defense and defense be looking at you. We need pressure, Cam. I need y'all.
I need coverage.
Yeah. I just need y'all to cover right now. Without pads, it's a whole different mentality. But I'll say, Drew, what is the difference from, our defenses as we've evolved? So let's say, our defense back when we were led by John Vilma to our defense by Demario Davis. I've always wanted to ask, do you know a difference? Did you feel the difference?
Yeah. I think so much of it is confidence. I think so much of it is confidence and attitude and certainly leadership. And I'm gonna say we because I'm still a Saint, bro. Even though I retired from playing the game of football, bro, I'm still saying we for the rest of my life. I'm talking about the Saints,
future mayor of New Orleans. Yeah,
we have unbelievable leadership on defense. Probably maybe unlike I've ever seen with our team. Now we had some great teams, back when we were getting started and when we went to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'd say that run between 2009 and 2013 in New Orleans, I think the level of consistency on defense was there, right? So it was Jonathan Vilma, it was Will Smith, the secondary was Malcolm, it was Roman Harper, it was Jabari Greer. Like, so you had some guys that were great players, highly productive players, but man, great locker room guys, great leaders, great workers. They just set the tone, they created the culture, right? And that's why it was kind of a big drop off after 13, because literally we lost all those guys all at once, like free agency, retirement, that kind of thing. So then like 14 through 16, it was kind of trying to search to find who those people were. Right. And Cam, you were a part of that. Right. And that was a tough stretch there. Right. I think we just kind of had some different, we had some different personalities and just things weren't meshing. Right. And we didn't have consistency. We probably had some selfish desires at times, you know? And so when 17 rolled around, I thought that was kind of that new era where, man, we had some good draft classes, right? Some good young defensive guys coming in, but then you begin to come into your own and establish yourself, not just as a great player, but a great leader. And then you add to that, you know, the addition of DeMario, right? And, you know, some of these young guys now being able to step up and fulfill these roles. And so I feel like now more so than ever, our defense is poised to be one of the best that we've ever had in New Orleans. Because you're in the same system now, right? So everybody loves the system, confidence in the system, what you're doing. And you just have the ability to just play, you know, simple coverage and get after people, right?
No doubt.
Because we got a front. We got a front who can rush the passer with 4, right? Can get after you, is relentless, you know? And now you just got to, you know, score some points on offense to keep pressure on the, you know, put the other opposing offense in some pass only situations that allow you to just kind of pin your ears back and tee off on them, go get them, right? Get it. Now it's all complimentary, but I think the leadership, the productivity, and the confidence level that we are playing with on defense right now is maybe the best that's been there in the Sean Payton era.
I could attest to that, you know, being the same for 8 years and then watching you guys the past 2 years, you like never really did the Saints defense put fear in you, right? It's like not too many times. Maybe back when when we was younger, you know what I mean?
We had the mentality early on, bend don't break.
Yeah,
that's not imposing your will. Yeah.
The last few years, when you watch the Saints play, you like, okay,
dogs.
That's a problem. Like that could be a problem there. Like, you know what I mean? They getting sacks, they getting pressure. You got linebackers filling, you got DBs covering, you got a scheme that is not easy to prepare for. You know what I mean? I'm like looking at the Saints like, yeah, they a problem. They gonna do something, you know.
When we came down to it, bro, it's like we had top 5 run defense, top 5 pass rush defense. You actually could have corners that would lock down a full, like strap the full receivers. It wasn't like, oh, number 1's taken away, so they got 2 and 3. Now everybody was sort of locked down. And you were like as a defensive end, oh, this is what it feels like. You know, when everybody is really like, you know, a DB that you either drafted or has that ability to take over. We went to go get like Jackrabbit, you know what I'm saying? That addition is key. Yeah. But you know, that which just takes me back, you know, now I'm just thinking about the front, you know, I'm always so defensive line happy. We just drafted a Texas kid. Now we got 2 Texas kids, you know, Texas kids are different, you know, Texas kids.
But what makes them different? What makes them different?
You tell us that.
I was like, you're a Texas kid yourself. It's because you guys grow up in the culture of Texas. Like you guys, even if you don't play football till high school, y'all always play football. Like in Arizona, California, like there's either soccer, there's basketball, there's football, sure, but everybody else's like primary target is something else. Like I grew up playing basketball, wanted to play basketball. Friends play baseball, wanted to play baseball. In Texas, I don't care if you're the greatest baseball player in the game, you're gonna get you a couple years in football.
It's culture. It's the life. It's the way of life.
Yeah, it's like it's like going in the military or something. You know, you got to go serve your tour, right?
You're going at least once.
Serve your tour, and then we'll see where it goes after that. But
you won't be respected in the state of Texas if you never tried to pick up the pig.
I'll say this, Cam. So like football, when I was growing up, was way down the list in regards to like what was my favorite. Like I baseball was my number 1, right? Man, I was going to go to college.
High school? High school, or you talking about like junior high? No,
I'm saying all the way up. Okay. All the way up. If you had me rank the sports, I would have said, baseball's my number 1, then basketball.
Okay.
Football probably be like the distant 3rd. Okay. But to your point, man, my whole family was football. My grandfather was a high school football coach, 38 years, retired as the 2nd winningest all time in Texas high school football history.
Legacy.
Yeah, there you
roots. Go. Be deep rooted now. Tell him, Breezy. Tell him about these roots.
Yeah. My uncle was All-American at the University of Texas with Earl Campbell. With Earl Campbell, one of the greats.
Roots.
Huh?
Roots.
Running the option, right?
Oh.
So I felt like it was kind of in my DNA. Like I live in Texas. I guess I got to play football, right?
Wait.
So
I was versatile with it. The wing tee.
Wing tee. Yeah. He says
that's where you get the spin move from, huh?
Hey, he says though, he goes, I would have had the most rushing yards of any QB in the history of college football, but I'd get down the field, and the minute I pitch to Earl, he gets all the rushing yards. That's the problem with option football. They don't give the QB the rushing yards.
Yeah.
If he pitches it, he could run 20 yards, pitch it to Earl. Earl gets another 5. He gets 20.
That's his 25.
Earl gets 20. That's his, yeah. The RB gets all the love.
I loved it. Hey, Drew, when we ran that option with Lamar, you think I wasn't going to stay in pitch relation? I need all the yards.
Exactly.
Right? I'm going to stay on 3 by 3 behind the hip. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here if you need it. I'm here if you need it. I need the 30 yards. Thank you. You know?
Exactly. So, no, so I felt like, all right, yeah, I got to play, but I never thought football would take me anywhere. I still thought, man, it was baseball, it was basketball. But I'm kind of an old school guy though. Like you say I'm an old school guy, right, Cam?
Kind of,
for sure,
kind of, Drew.
100%.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Huh?
You played when I was in high school, and now I'm dealing with these kids that were like, man,
Yeah,
I looked
so
at you
I
when you were in high school.
I want to know what's the new school Texas versus the old school Texas.
Man,
Give me your opinion.
Well, now there's a difference because this kid's from Houston. You know what I'm saying? So there's Texas should really be. There should be
Texas
really
Texas like its
respect.
own country. It's the Republic of Texas, right?
No doubt.
North, south, east, west, central.
Exactly.
Central. Yeah.
I always say like it should be at least 3 states. There's the West Texas, East Texas, Central Texas, but there's still like San Antonio down there, like South Texas as well.
Yeah.
But so for you to be in Central, Houston is different. Them boys come in supreme confidence. So I like what I see. I mean, he went to the U of H, so I'm not sure if that's like Sun Belt Conference or the WAC. I don't really know beyond 3 conferences here. So
and Marcus was what? UTSA? Is that where Davenport's from? Right.
Exactly. And he's from like San Antonio area. So
are you questioning the competition? Is that what we're saying?
Absolutely.
Cam always beats on the collegiate level of competition. That's why he said
3
he didn't know if it
conferences
was
in my
WAC
book
or Sun Belt. That's why
it gets ugly.
He doesn't respect it. You know what I mean?
That's not my fault. There's the Pac. There's SEC.
There's Big 12.
There's a Big
10.
Big something. It's a big something. It's like Big 12 with 15 schools and Big 10 with 11. I don't know how that works.
Oh, Big 10's got 14 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the ACC. So I know 5. That's impressive for me. Everything else, I'd be like, are you guys D1 or how's that work?
MEAC,
the MEAC, the WAC, the Sun Belt. I'm like, all these other conferences make my come on, I can barely I can't think. That's 50 schools in there. That's 60 schools in there. I can't go beyond that.
But now he's on the squad, so you got to teach him all the tricks.
No doubt. Hey, I love
I
try to tell him, look, even though you come from U of H and you thought that was a big school, like now we're in the big league. So I don't care if you came from a NIA, a D3 school, you know what I'm saying? Like if you come from a small school or D1, I don't care. Do you have the talent to be here? And I think he has the talent. I keep calling him Marcus Davenport Jr. Like he's freakishly athletic. Now I'm just trying to see where his mindset is. And I think his mindset is probably a little bit more mature than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. He's just raw.
He's just raw. He's raw, but he's very confident. I think it comes down to the Texas thing. Like somewhere in there, like his dad played football, his granddad played football, his grandpa played football. Like
them roots.
In Texas is different. Like you go to a high school stadium, like and look around, and it feels like a college stadium. You know, like when a high school stadium sits 15,000, you like. Is this for like rival games?
The town shuts down. Everybody goes to the stadium. Yeah, you have the barbecue. Watch some football.
Look,
I was tailgating and have big concessions.
That's the way of life.
If you take it back to your high school days, right, and you were way back when. How many people did your stadium go down? In my mind, every Texas game is like Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah,
everything closed.
We were 12,000. We were 12,000 for home games. And then once playoffs rolled around, the cool thing about playoffs was you were always playing in college stadiums. So we'd go down and play. So our playoffs, I was Austin, Central Texas. So we would immediately go down to San Antonio. And for the first 4 rounds, we were playing San Antonio or South Texas. So we would go down and play at Southwest Texas State, which is now Texas State University, and we'd get 40,000 for those. And then we would go to the Alamo Dome. So we played in the Alamo Dome. That was 40 plus we'd get. Then we would go and we'd play, wait for it, the Astrodome.
Oh, Astrodome.
Oh,
the Astrodome.
Yeah, that's a
on
nice.
that field turf.
Hey, on that carpet. Hey, on that carpet in your living room.
Oh, you was wearing regular shoes. You didn't even wear cleats for that. Ain't no way you wore cleats for that.
Maybe just some teeny nubbies. Maybe just some little nubbies.
I played on that too, Breezy. So I'm old school too.
Hey, was that the worst turf?
At Wood Stadium in Flint, Michigan. I had the Barry Sanders turf shoes. I went crazy in my senior year.
So the Astrodome was packed though.
Yeah. Astrodome was packed.
I mean, that's 70, 80? What's that?
And if you made the state championship, you were going to Texas Stadium. You were going to play in the Cowboy Stadium. And you get about 50, 60. So
okay.
Yeah. We'd pack it out.
I'll say, so you go to like 55,000, 60,000 at a game in high school. You hit college and was mentally ready. In fact, give me how you even got to Purdue. Because
Purdue was probably a step down. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Because when you got 55, 60 in the stands, you're not wanting to go to a Boilermaker situation. Indiana out of Texas.
And he's the 5A, and he's the 5A player of the year, and leads him to a state championship. So this man already has credentials on top of you feel.
No doubt. And lettered in basketball, and lettered in baseball, and lettered in football. So you probably had all types of scholarships. When you back then, they didn't have that scout.com, rivals.com situation where they hit you with stars, or did they? And then you probably boosted the height stat. You were probably like 6'4".
No, yeah. So I think in high school I listed myself at 6'2", 205.
Yeah.
In reality,
I
was 6 foot, $190, with a big old knee brace on my left knee because I had torn my ACL at the end of my junior year playing football. So you want to know how I ended up at Purdue? It was because I tore my ACL at the end of my junior season in the third round of the playoffs down in Alice, Texas. Tore my ACL, so I missed all the basketball season. I missed all the baseball season, and that's when you get recruited, right? Your junior year, that's when you start getting eyes on you. And so I got nothing, crickets, because I didn't play. So then I come around for my senior year, kind of no expectations, didn't really know what to expect. Got the big knee brace on, but I'd gone through the rehab process. I was $170 in my junior year. So I gained 20 pounds going through that rehab process, just grinding. So then we go 16-0, win a state championship, 5A state offensive player of the year, and still like nothing. Well, Joe Tiller, who is running the spread offense at Wyoming, he gets the job at Purdue. And then Hal Mummy, who was running the spread offense at Valdosta State in Georgia, he gets the job at Kentucky. All right. Tim Couch is at Kentucky. Remember, Tim Couch was like
finally a name I know.
Player of all time. Yeah, exactly. Finally. These two guys end up at getting these D1, these big time, jobs, SEC and Big Ten, and they have to throw together a recruiting class like in the last month. So this is like early January of my senior year. So they both call up literally like the same day. Like, hey, we just got the job. We'd love for you to come on an official visit. So those were my two official visits, Purdue and Kentucky. And both of them were like, hey, you can come here, spread offense. We're going to throw it 50 times a game. And I was like, can I walk on the baseball team? It was one of the questions I asked, because I still had, my mind made up that I was a baseball player. And I'm going to go there. I'll play football, but I really want to be a two-sport athlete. And they're like, yeah, you can play baseball. And I was like, all right, well, I felt like Purdue gave me the best education, Big Ten Conference, get to play against the Ohio States and the Michigan States and the Penn States and everybody else. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. That's back when the Big Ten was the conference.
That was the conference. Yeah, that's when the Big Ten was the Big Ten.
Yeah, the Michigan with Charles Woodson and all those cats, you know what I mean? Ohio State, Eddie George and, all those, So Big Ten was the conference. It's not the SEC now, you know what I mean? But you went to the big leagues, you know what I mean? Purdue.
Yeah.
Boilermakers.
In my mind back then, all I knew was the Pac. I honestly didn't when people would say USC, it was University of Southern California. I didn't know there was a USC on the other side of this country until I got to the league.
South Carolina.
Yeah. See, you're talking mess about these Texas dudes. How about these West Coast dudes?
No, the West Coast dudes are off.
The West Coast dudes are different, man.
They're off, man.
They got their own little world. They got their little Pac-10 world over there.
Didn't even really know what a University of Alabama was. They're like, yeah, they won the championship, or Ohio State. We knew Ohio State. You knew the U.
No. See,
but the smaller
I'm with you, Breezy. The Texas dudes were more normal to me. Now you get out there, see, and Cam is AZ, so he's not even all the way west.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
you
not
go
even all the
further
way.
than AZ, it gets even more weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. but he ended up at Berkeley, right? So,
no doubt.
Like playing at 9:00 at night Pacific time on Saturday nights. I'm in bed, bro.
Nobody's watching that.
Everybody's watching that. That's prime time.
Everybody in Cal Berkeley.
Yeah. Back when we used to pack that stadium out, it was beautiful. Now I went back, nobody's there. And I said, damn, we got to get back.
You know, it's like we're in the hotel night before the games, and you see this Pac-12 game kicking off at 11 p.m. You're like, wait.
Cam,
There's no way I'm standing up for this.
They need some donations back there, Cam.
We had too many head
looking for some donations.
We had a couple of head coach changes, and one we grabbed from La Tech. You don't go to a small school to go to a big school. You know what I'm saying? We grabbed this dude from La Tech and ruined our program. I'm gonna say it because I still look. Sonny Dykes came in, and they're like, yeah, he puts up so many points, but he put all his guys in. And when I say like he started recruiting guys that fit his system and not the most talented out there, like the Bay Area would create too many talented players for not to recruit your area. You pass it on Shaq Thompson, I don't trust you.
Oh yeah, you and Marshawn Lynch. I imagine y'all got some pull back there. So why don't you just go ahead and walk back in the office and tell them how things need to be run around there.
Marshawn and Aaron Rodgers got all the pull. I go back there, they're like, Cam, Jordan, huh? You came back, huh? Yeah, that's my fault. I'm have to go back because when you see me, you see B. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we had a nothing but a serious pool of talent go through, and then all of a sudden it fell off. But we gonna get back. We gonna get right when we get back to Nike. They're sponsored by Under Armour right now. You know how I feel about that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Drew, now that you're retired, in my mind, when I saw you last a couple of days ago, I was like, bro, you look like you've lost some weight, but you hopped on that scale and proved me wrong, and sort of been maintaining this greatness.
Tell him though, Breezy, look light, but it's heavy though.
Hey, I tell him lean and mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm still that fighting weight, about 204.5.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I when he hopped on the scale, I was like, ain't no way he's over 200. Got on that thing. I don't know about 204.5, but it was like 203, so it wasn't far off.
Breezy, tell him you got the sons. You got to be able to throw them, against the wall if you got to. Got a daughter.
Hey.
Got to be able to put paws on somebody if you have to.
He's already losing.
Yeah.
Hey, his three boys. Ain't no way he's winning this in the next 2 years. Like,
Cam saw him 2 days ago, just like rolling through the locker room like they own the place.
Man,
they ruined our basketball hoop by doing a Vince Carter dunk contest. You know what I mean?
Hey, we used to. So for those that don't know, in the Saints locker room, we used to have a ping pong table. I was a champion of, and then we had
sometimes
pre-COVID
belt for a while.
This is all the fun pre-COVID stuff.
Yeah, pre-COVID, but it was like we had a miniature basketball hoop, but it wasn't miniature though. It was like 6-7 feet. It wasn't standard, but it was 7 feet. Guys get shots in on. We play all types of games on. We come back in. Yeah, we come back in, and coaches' kids and players' kids out here playing full on like 5-on-5 dunking. And this is pure after practice. We see the Brees boys out here doing these monster jams.
You should have seen the fear in everybody's face. We said the rim was bent, bro. The rim was bent vertically, bro. They was did this?
They was having some 1990s Shaq-nosis dunks going on. You know what I'm saying? The big Shaq-tometry.
Bruh, we got the dunk and putting the elbow in the rim.
No doubt. Hey.
They going through the leg behind the back. Yum them. Yeah. I said, oh, damn, ain't no hooping no more for us. Hey, Drew, get us a new
hoop. hey, the worst part, we need to raise the ceiling though, height, because it's developing some bad habits. You're getting those flat shots. You know, I mean, I keep telling my kids like, hey, we need the arc. We need the no arc in the locker room. Like you're just shooting those BBs.
It's like an added dimension of difficulty. It's like a carnival. It's like a fair. You know what I mean? Like you can't have the perfect. Like it just gives you another little degree of difficulty. But Cam's a little taller. I'm a little, not as tall, so I get a little bit more. I get a little bit more.
Extension. Yeah. Extension.
Yeah. My shot come out there like a rocket. My thing gotta go in. Like ain't no backboard. It gotta go pure. Hey. at a downward angle to the net.
Get your pop-a shot. Get your pop-a shot technique.
Man, that's it. I can't wait. Look, I can't wait till we go back to a situation norm because last year threw everything off. Like the locker room vibes, I usually got music playing in my corner. The DBs probably got music playing in their corner. Teron gonna have music playing in his corner, and then
and then everybody gathers for a little Super Smash Brothers. As long as the Super Smash Brothers is alive and well, I feel like the locker room's in a good place.
Yeah,
man. I would say that might be the only thing that stayed normal was we got in for the Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember we used to have the Smash Bros going, and we used to have a power episode going. You remember we used to have the power episode going back at training camp?
I'll say Drew might have missed that. Look, he was too busy studying film.
Drew wasn't in there for the power episodes. You know what I mean? Drew was probably like doing some type of rehab or doing some film or making calls.
Enlighten me. What were the power episodes?
Oh, so in training camp, the show Power, right, was by Stars, 50 Cent show. Guys are really into it that first couple seasons. So you remember we got those brand new gray sectional couches in the locker room.
Oh yeah.
And so we took both sets and made them darn near staggered a movie theater style. It was like rows in the locker room, and guys are really posted up on that big old, they put the 4 TV screens together. So it was a 120-inch screen really watching Power on whatever day that was.
It was like during that 2 hour. You remember we'd have like a 2 hour kind of break in the middle of the day. And so, guys would be taking naps. Guys might shoot home, whatever it was. But we'd cut all the lights off in the locker room. We had the sectionals, and we'd have the most recent Power episode going. And we'd be at least 30 deep over there. Like it was a sleepover. Watching Power, you know what I mean? but hey, that's honestly, when our team camaraderie, that's when it started. Like,
that was like
those 3 years in a row. We had those 3 years in a row of 7 and 9, you know what I mean? And that was kind of the turning point of it, and I think it was special for us, you know what I mean? To develop that team camaraderie, and it's kind of progressed to what it is now, that great locker room atmosphere, that great locker room environment. And it's important, you know what I mean? So I think all that, the Super Smash Bros, the power episodes, the ping pong tournaments, the shot tournaments in between meetings.
The ping pong tournament, we actually had rankings at one point in time.
Elite, good, elite, trash. And come on, bro, you need practice.
And used to have lockout rounds.
I like the formula though. Wasn't it? In order to advance to the next level, right? You had to beat. Did you have to beat two people
in the next tier?
Yeah, in the next tier. Yeah. And in order for them to drop down, basically they had to kind of make it to where they were like the last place person in their tier.
And then you were available to drop down.
And then if they lost, then at that point to somebody below, then
absolutely.
You got the flip flop.
Yeah, you get relegated like the Premier League. You know what I mean? Like the champion, you get relegated. You know what I mean? You get promoted or you get relegated.
Man,
yeah.
So if you're in that second tier, if you're in that top tier, you're getting challenged. Like people like coming for your neck. Like, I've been getting right.
I've been getting right. It's time.
Yeah.
Hey, we used to go like, what was that? What was it like? Blue. It was like blue dot, green dot, yellow dot. Yellow dot was like you're just average.
It was the rankings, like scouting reports.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And you had your red.
We even had a couple of lockout games because it was the gray dots. It was the Tidewater players, the ones that shouldn't be on the board. And if you wanted to play, it was like if the gray dots played like somebody, they could call out all the way up to I think like a green dot, so they could go yellow green. But if they lost to a green dot, they get locked out for like 3 days. Like no, you can't get back on the table.
Like no, you can't play. You're in timeout.
Yeah, exactly. You're not good, and you chose to continue to play and waste somebody's time. You're out now. Yeah. Anyways, but that was that huge part was just that camaraderie, like just guys being guys. That bonding situation, which I think took us to a whole nother elevated status, especially the last 4 years. Over 21 years in the league. I mean,
20.
Woo! I thought you slid in for the 21. Yeah. Just 2 decades. My bad.
Hey, no, he a beast. Hey, Drew-isiana, we got to hear a little bit about these college stories, though, man. I know. So you was a state champ, player of the year. You go to Purdue, like so what?
Boilermaker.
Yeah, Purdue Boilermaker. I need to hear about some of these. Like, what was the progression of Drew-isiana from freshman year? Did you ever play baseball? How was your first time starting? Like, I need to hear a little bit about your college career, man. I need to hear a little bit about it, bro.
So,
because I know you was kind of up for the Heisman, finished third or fourth in that. You know what I mean? So you the man now. You is the GOAT. It didn't just happen overnight. Like, it's rooted back from Texas. So we need to hear this Purdue. We need to hear this Purdue sectional. You know what I mean? We need to hear a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And I also want to know, were you squatting back then, or when did the TRX bands come in? But
all right, so hey, I'll listen. Hey, I'll throw some numbers out here for you.
There we go.
So I told you I went into college at 6 foot, 190, right? Into my freshman year, I was 215. And then by the time I was starting my sophomore year, I was 221. Junior year, I got up to 226. I was 6 foot, 226. That's because QB was toting the rock a little bit in that Purdue offense. We would basically get up and empty, and we would call QB draw check. So if it was a good QB draw run, look, I was running it.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't, I checked to something else and get to one of these fast guys, let them go do something. But that was back, like, everybody in college football just throws the heck out of it now, right? Like, guys putting up crazy numbers. But back, this is 1997 to 2000, and this is the Big Ten, right? 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Right.
Like, everybody just running pro style, two back, man, just hand it
smash
off,
mouth
lead back, boom, smash mouth football, right?
Yep.
You know what time
We came in as lowly little Purdue, right? Last place recruiting class in the Big Ten in 1997. And I think Joe Tiller was like, listen, we got to do something different if we want to compete, right? We've got to throw something at them that they're not used to, they haven't seen before. So we start spreading out all these Big Ten linebackers and 3-4 defensive ends, and we try to just get them in space. And bro, we start lighting up the scoreboards, right? We're throwing it 50 times a game. I threw it, let's see here. I had at least 5-6 games where I threw it 67 times. 1998 against Wisconsin, we went up to their place. Ron Dane, he rushed for like 250 yards on us, but we threw the ball 83 times up at Wisconsin back in 1998. I think that record just was recently broken by like Washington State a couple years ago with Mike Leach. But bro, 83 times we threw the ball in a game.
How many?
We ran it 25 times. Okay. I had a bunch of QB draws in that game. So we ran 108 plays in that game. 108. You imagine running 108 plays in a game?
My goodness.
So we were throwing the heck out of it. So we were breaking every Big Ten record passing and everything else. But I would say that was a huge progression for me because I came from an offense in high school where we were running option. I was throwing the ball maybe 12 to 15 times a game. And now all of a sudden I'm throwing the ball 50 times a game. And for a quarterback, I mean, that's how you grow. That's how you develop. That's how you begin to understand passing concepts and defense and getting the ball out of your hands and just understanding how to move in the pocket and how to create. And then there was this whole quarterback run element to it. So, I mean, I always felt like I was a good athlete. I was never like a real fast guy or a real shifty guy, but I felt like I could get the job done. And I felt like I could use my athleticism to create plays. So I felt like from a confidence perspective, that time at Purdue took me to another level. I still, and this is honest to God truth, I never thought that football would ever take me anywhere. Even as we were having success at Purdue, my sophomore year, my junior year, I remember going into my junior year, I remember we had broken every Big Ten record imaginable my sophomore year. There was a media guy that said to me, hey, you think you're going to leave early after this year? I'm like, leave early for what? And they're like, yeah, for the NFL, right? Then, the numbers you're putting up, the success you're having, like you could be a first round pick. And I'm telling you, that was the first time I ever thought that the NFL was a possibility. Was like going into my junior year. Okay. Bro, I was still kind of a baseball player in my mind. Like I'm still thinking about walking on the baseball team and I never thought football take me anywhere, right? 6 foot, 190-pound dude coming out of Texas going all the way up to Purdue.
Did you ever walk on the base? Did you ever walk on the baseball team?
I didn't because they kept bringing in guys. As we started having success as an offense, every quarterback, junior college, high school, wanted to go to Purdue because they wanted to throw the ball 50 times a game. So they kept signing guys, and I kept having to beat them out. So I didn't want to go walk on the baseball team and lose my job. So I never ended up walking on baseball. I just played football.
Ball, right.
But yeah, I'd say that's where it went to a whole nother level, just in regards to my confidence and understanding of the game.
I want to ask you this though, Breezy. Like, so you said like in high school you was throwing it like 12 times a game, running this option offense. and then you go to college and you're throwing it 50, 60 times plus, like, did you have that precision and accuracy like you had? Did you have that in high school, or did you kind of like develop it like in college? Like, when did that Drew Brees precision, accuracy, touch ball? Like, I know you played baseball, so I know you kind of had that skill set, but like, when did you like hone in on that talent? Like, cause like it's second to none as far as touch passes, the accuracy, the precision. It's second to none. It's Drew Brees and like it's nobody else. Like, when did that like start to develop? When did you start to notice that you had that ability? Like,
yeah, that's a good question. No, I felt like I always had those instincts. It's hard to describe that, right? Because I'd probably ask you the same question, just about how you know when to be patient, and wait for a hole to open up, or how you read a certain cut, or just these things take time. It takes practice, but at the same time, man, at some point, you probably just felt like, man, I've been born with this gift, right? And so then how do I work towards kind of honing in on this and perfecting my craft, right? Yeah. So I do feel like I've always had some of that ability, and yet at the same time, it's just like anything. If you're in an offense where you're only throwing it 12 to 15 times, you don't really have a chance to develop that until you get in a situation where it's like, man, every play, you just have to be so precise. I've always felt like accuracy is trust and anticipation. You have to trust the guys that you're throwing to, and you have to be able to anticipate where they're going to be before they're there. Now, listen, that takes a ton of confidence, but at the same time, that's working with guys to develop that trust and develop that confidence so that you can anticipate. But the place where I see young quarterbacks in the NFL fail that may have all the tools is that they're just a little bit late. They're a little bit late in processing, or they have to see it open before they throw it. And as we know in the NFL, man, holes close fast.
Yeah, it's about to be open. That's when you throw it, Yeah.
And you know this, Mark, because I feel like in a lot of cases, you have to throw people open. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that if Mike Thomas is running right next to somebody, I always feel like there's a place I can throw that ball to Mike where he can get it and that other dude can't.
Yes, sir.
Or Jimmy Graham, or Marcus Colston, or any of these guys that we've played with, right?
Right.
Where you just develop this rapport and this relationship, and it takes time to get there. But I always feel like on any given play, I don't care how well everyone's covered, there's a place where I can get a completion. There's a place where I can throw the ball where my guy can get it and nobody else can. And it's my job to figure out how to do that.
That's that GOAT mentality. You hear it from the man.
Hey, honestly, that's where that practice mentality come in. For the last 10 years of my career, you watch Drew at practice, he throwing the same thing, and you be like, oh, that's a nice pass. Drew be like, he didn't like it. Like, it didn't drop right. Like, hey, it didn't drop right.
Throw the helmet down.
You like, bro, like that was a hell of a pass. God! And you see that helmet toss off the ground. You're like, never mind. My bad.
Hey, all ear pads, everything going. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, it's just the. Go ahead, Brees.
I was gonna say, I looking back, like when I watch my kids do something like that, like I jump them. I'm like, man, we don't treat things like that. We're not gonna act like that. And then I kind of got to check myself. I'm like, damn, I used to do that stuff too.
Cut straight from the cloth.
Yeah, but hey, Mark, you're right.
Hey, roots. It's deep rooted, man.
I knew this. It kind of set the tone though. It got me right. Like I knew that if there was a moment in practice where I got so mad at myself, it was always at myself. It wasn't mad at anything else. It was mad at myself, where I would take my helmet off, slam it on the ground.
Hey, I don't know about
holding yourself to a standard.
Hey,
microphones.
You got mad at me one good time. It was a training camp, probably Ramchek's rookie year or something like that. He was in, and I had it was for conditioning at the end of a practice, and I had to sit Ram down, and I went ahead and tagged you on the hip. You threw the helmet off. I said, hey, you don't touch the quarterback. I said, ow. I said, he got the halo rule.
No.
I know. I got that look from Drew maybe about once or twice, man. It was a hot, so the pressure was coming hot. I ain't make myself available. I ain't turn my eyes around quick enough. And you just see Drew just glaring at you. That's the one thing you don't want, bro. You want to make Drew, you want to be there for Breezy at all times, bro. Like, that's one of the things that it's like motivated me. It was like I had to be in the right position and know exactly what I'm doing to not let this man down. You know what I mean? And if you got to a point where you didn't do what you were supposed to do, you knew it. You was like you just walking back to the huddle with your tail tucked. Like I ain't tucking my tail for nobody, But Drew Brees, you want to be exactly where you need to be. When you're supposed to be there, because he gonna get the ball to you and give you a chance to make a play. And so if you ain't
and
there,
on the other
man,
side, it's the most satisfying thing to ever see Drew upset because of you or because of whatever it is. You're like, yeah, I did that, and at the same time, like I'm like, yeah, I pissed Drew off, yeah, and then Drew's talking to himself the whole time, like, come on, Drew, get the ball off faster. Oh, yeah, so I didn't piss him off. Like, how you deflate my happiness?
That consistency, that preparation, like how he go and go through every play on Saturdays after we already walked through. He's going to walk through. My man be doing his drills, the little hip thrust drill, the little hip thrust. Everybody thought Dak did that. I said, no, my dog Brees been doing that since 2011 when I seen the little, you know what I mean?
I'm glad you told him, Mark. I'm glad you told him. Somebody had to tell him.
Hey, man, everybody want to do the Dak, the little hip, the little
yeah.
Drew Brees been doing that. He been doing that.
We all have our own style with it. I think Dak took it to another level of thrust.
Fame, for sure.
Yeah.
He animated it for sure.
There's big trust and now there's big hip thrust. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll hold you for a couple more minutes, Breezy, then we'll get you up out of here, man. We appreciate your time, bro.
Yeah.
So let's just let's talk about. So let's talk about that. You didn't even think you was doing. You said you didn't even think you had a chance to go to the league until that man told you that at the end of your sophomore year. So was that the end of your sophomore or your junior year?
Yeah. It was going into my junior year. Yeah.
So then you had the big junior year. Did you leave? Did you stay for a senior year?
I stayed for my senior year. Yeah, I wanted to get my education. Plus, I felt like, our goal when I signed with Purdue, we were the last place recruiting class, bottom of the Big Ten. And we as a recruiting class kind of looked at each other like, hey, fellas, by the time we leave here, we're going to be Big Ten champs. And so we hadn't accomplished that yet. So it was like, all right, our senior year, we're going to leave here Big Ten champs. And we ended up winning the Big Ten.
Hey, that's why I love Breezy, man. So then you finish, tops in the Heisman voting. You get drafted to San Diego, huh?
Yeah. San Diego Chargers.
Second round. Second round. It was crazy. I was over there looking like I was like, what? San Diego got Drew Brees out of Purdue.
So they draft you. They draft LT in the same draft.
So here's the crazy thing. So LT and I had a history. So LT wasn't highly recruited either. He was from Waco, which is 2 hours north of Austin, right? So he was a Central Texas boy, just like me. So we go to the North-South Texas All-Star game, high school All-Star game, and we're on the same team. And he's going to TCU to play fullback, all right? And I'm going to Purdue, and nobody even knows where Purdue is, right? So then fast forward 4 years from then, LT obviously switches from fullback to running back his sophomore year at TCU, ends up doing all the great things he does. So we end up being at the Heisman together our senior year. I finished third. He finishes fourth. But we look at each other and we say, hey, wouldn't that be something, man? High school guys, Texas, Central Texas, same high school all-star team. Now we're here at the Heisman. Wouldn't that be something, right? We end up on the same NFL team. So San Diego, back in 2001, they had the first pick in the draft.
Right.
And that's the Michael Vick draft. Well, Atlanta wants Mike Vick so bad. So they swap picks in the first round. Atlanta jumps to number 1, takes Mike Vick. San Diego falls back to number 5, takes LaDainian Tomlinson. And then they had come and done 2 pro days with me, San Diego. And I felt like they really liked me, but I had all these teams telling me if I'm there in the first round, late first round, they're going to take me. Like the Chiefs, the Jaguars, the Dolphins. Like I had all these teams saying, hey, if you're there in the late 20s, we're taking you. So sure enough, pick 26 rolls around. It's Miami. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Miami's going to take me. And they take Jamar Fletcher, DB out of Wisconsin. So then I'm sitting there by the phone, like, man, what does this mean? Well, then San Diego scrambles. They got the first pick in the second round. They draft me the minute the second round rolls up. So then it was me and LT. Yeah.
That's a draft there.
Crazy how that played out. 2001
draft there. You draft 2 Hall of Famers
in the first 2 rounds. Both of them hits. And
Big
then,
hits.
Of course, then of course, you know, you probably slap yourself in the back of the neck because you let the Super Bowl winning champion go off to New Orleans that became Drew Orleans.
A lot of people slap themselves in the back of the neck. You know, it's crazy. You know, Coach Saban, he left the NFL for the fact he didn't get Drew Brees. You know what I mean?
Hey, but you know, I mean, I don't blame anybody because I was damaged goods. You know, I had this shoulder injury that was pretty significant, and you know, I'll be honest, there was a period of time where I didn't know if I'd come back and be the same guy, right? Because I was going to have to learn how to throw again. Mark, you all those traits that I felt like I had, right? The instincts and the ability to throw the ball accurately and anticipate all these things. Like, what happens now if my shoulder can't get the job done, right? So, man, I was scared. So I don't blame others for being scared too. But I mean, think about how history changes as a result of that, right? What I thought was one of the worst, you know, things that could have happened to me in my career with this shoulder injury brings me to New Orleans. It takes Saban over to Alabama. I'm sure. Roll Tide. I'm sure those fans are pretty excited about that. So it all happened the way it's supposed to. Man, I feel like I feel like I gotta have my we'll wake up my kids and kind of set them on my lap here. I feel like I'm missing out right now.
Hey. Look, you know, I had baby girl outside.
You don't want to wake the boys up. The podcast over. Over.
He said one of them. He can always grab Riley. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be a calm one somewhere in the bunch. But it's not the boys.
We did have the girls. So you could get the girl, you know what I mean? But she with the boys, so she rowdy too, you know?
Hey, rough, bro. She's rough. Man,
she gotta be. She gotta hold her own.
Oh, listen, like we spent an hour yesterday playing Barbies, but then she would go on the trampoline and like jump kick her brother in the face, you know, like, so she's like this healthy mix of like girly girl. You know? And then she'll just like ball up a fist and just like give it to you real quick. So
hey, that's good. That's what you want out your girl. That's what you want out your girl.
I'll say, look, you don't want them all. You don't want them all girly girl. They can't be all soft. Look, I'm not gonna feel like I did my job.
Yeah, soft is not the description of her that I would.
Yeah, she wants to do her nails. She wants to wear a skirt. She wants to get her hair done, but she will throw these hands.
That's what I'm saying. Also, get out my face.
She will get you up off of her. Yeah.
No doubt.
No, that's what's up, bro. Hey, look, bro. That's awesome, bro.
I said, look, we can wrap it up, Mark.
How old is baby girl right there, Cam? How old is she?
She's 6 months, bro. Look.
Dang, I forgot you got a fresh one.
Yeah. You know, the 5'4", 2 and 6 monther. And then I'm Big Chop. I talk. In fact, what really convinced me, I was like getting all this information on the Chop. You know what I'm saying? I talked to a couple guys in the locker room. And then, you know, I talked to this man over here. You know, I was like, hey man, like, I was like, what if it takes away from my virility? What if it takes away from my savageness?
That's what I asked Breezy. I said, what if it take my bite away?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on the defense side. Like, I need that edge. Man, I went ahead and got that Chop, big fella. I'm more of a savage now. I'm like, bro, I know I'm free release. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like Mike Thomas off the line.
Pressure's off.
No pressure. Hey, what you need from me? You know I'm good for.
I still got big pressure, and my track record ain't good. I be getting weak. So I'm on deck, man. I'm on deck. Drew tried to convince me 2 years ago. You tried to convince me, but I'm on deck, man. I got to get it done, bro.
Hey, like I said, I'm over here like, huh? You need something from me? Yeah. All right, it's time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's time.
Yeah, you're good, bro. Mark. You're good. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I gotta get it done.
Yeah.
Gotta get it done, bro.
This is the club of four, though, man. We all have four. We all have four, though, right?
We all have four.
Yeah.
If we ever went to dinner, it'd be 16 of us sitting at the table. 12 kids, 6 adults. There'd be 18. Lord, it'd be 18. I'm off by 2. Like, you can't get no regular table at a restaurant. Like, hey, do you have a private room to seat 18? Like, you can't even.
No.
Oh, it's over.
We just got to go to walk-ons and just, you know, shut the whole thing down. That's
just post up. We're good. Yeah, we got a spot.
Hey, Drew, you know, out of all the Madden ratings that you've had this last year, you know, this last year, hell, you've even been all the NCAA football ratings. You don't remember that? You know what I'm saying? Back when we really got excited about being a part of the game. Is there any one that you felt sort of slighted, or this last year did they fully disrespect you? Or did you give you just dues?
You dropped me from a 97 to a 93 based on what? I mean, were the results?
That's what I'm saying.
Their opinions.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Were the results still there?
The results was definitely still there.
Yes.
Process was there. That equal good process equal good results. So why didn't that equal good rating? That would be my argument.
Drew, that's our question. That's what we want to know, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So I'd say this, and this is good because we're all, I just retire after 20 years, right? You guys are entering into the season stages of your career, but man, my goal was always, man, how can I prolong my prime? Right. So think about that for a second. Like, what is your prime? Your prime is when your athletic ability and then your knowledge and wisdom within the game is kind of at that same level. So you're operating at this place where, man, not only do I know everything that I need to be doing and everything around me and this experience that I've gained from this game, but I also have the athletic ability to do it. At some point later on in your career, the physical skills begin to diminish. But how can you continue to play at that highest level, even as those skills diminish? I think you have to know your limitations, but still play within those and take the things that you're still great at and be able to accentuate those as best you can. So for me, listen, last year, I felt like that was the first time in my career where I was limited at times. And it was based on some injuries and some other things where, man, I just couldn't do or make some of the throws that I was used to making, right? But still, you got to find a way to get the job done. Well, just because I can't make that throw, I just have to think about it a little differently. Maybe it changes my progression a little bit, but I'm still going to get the ball out with trust and anticipation. I'm still going to find completions, still going to get first downs, still going to lead 2-minute drives, still going to go win games, right? So you just gotta take the limitations or the perceived weaknesses. You got to somehow turn them into strengths.
Yes, sir. And that's what I'm talking about. Tune in to the Breezy cast. Look, the broadcast, the Breeze.
And people ask me all the time, what I learned from Drew Brees. I tell them everything. Everything. I learned everything from Drew Brees. You know what I mean? Yeah. With that being said, man, on top of your athletic endeavors, man, I've always appreciated your entrepreneurship. Like, when did you start taking that avenue? Like, when did you get interested in entrepreneurship and like want to get involved in business?
I've always had an entrepreneurial kind of mindset and business mindset. And so that was my degree at Purdue. It was industrial management, which was in the school of management. There was involved some engineering as well, because Purdue was such a great engineering school. I felt like I had to incorporate that in some way. So, again, I didn't think NFL was really in the cards. I didn't think I'd be, going on and playing at the next level for so long. So really my mindset was, I'm going to get a great degree from Purdue University, that network, nationally, and then find my way in the business world. And so I think I've always enjoyed that. I think something I've gravitated to throughout my career is I love franchising. I love the franchise model. I love the franchise concept. I kind of took my first foray into that by becoming a Jimmy John's franchisee. Yep. And really, ironically, that was because back in college at Purdue, I would eat Jimmy John's like 3 times a week, right? Get it delivered to the dorm, get it delivered wherever I was staying, right? Like late night, whenever.
They had Club Lulu, dog. So they had that Club Lulu popping off on Uber Eats back then? Look,
no. Hey, I was always a number 9 Italian nightclub.
There we go.
So, yeah. So at some point, the only time I could get Jimmy John's, though, because San Diego, no Jimmy John's, New Orleans, no Jimmy John's, was when I went back to the Midwest. That was really kind of where Jimmy John's was kind of most present, and that was kind of the region that it was, where it existed. So I thought, if Jimmy John's is franchising and they're trying to expand the brand, I got to bring this down to New Orleans. Ironically, I had played one of the walk-on quarterbacks my senior year was a guy named Carl Bergler. He was he had worked his way up through Jimmy John's. He was working literally as like Jimmy John's, making sandwiches while he was playing football at Purdue. He ended up becoming a manager of a store, and then he went on to corporate as a guerrilla marketer, and then he was the chief operating officer. So I called him up and I said, "Hey, Carl, what do I need to do to bring Jimmy John's down to New Orleans?" And he said, "Actually, the territory just opened up. Are you serious?" I said, "Yes." So 2011, we bring our first Jimmy John's down there. We just built our 10th. So we got 10 Jimmy John's now in New Orleans. But then that evolved other things because I began to learn the business, learn the franchise model concept, kind of the, maybe what to do, what not to do. You just kind of learn some of the best practices. So I felt like then equipped with some of the knowledge to continue to evaluate brands and continue to, kind of build other franchise models. So that's when I jumped in with walk-ons, back when walk-ons had 3 units. Now walk-ons were at over 50 units around the kind of the Southeast.
I was about to cut you in half. I was like, he got at least 30 of them. I was like, I saw the one in Arizona. Hey, I saw the one in Arizona open up, and I said, damn it, Drew, I wanted in on this one.
Yeah,
I need in on something.
It's been popular. Yeah.
You need to walk off down here in South Florida or in Flint, Michigan. Let me know, man. I'm trying to do a little something. No.
Hey, I'll say this. You two are two of my all-time favorite teammates. 2 of my all-time favorites, man. When I think about leaving this game, honestly, I think about those relationships, bro. I love you guys, man. Y'all meant so much to me when I was playing. And even beyond, man, I'm excited to watch our families grow. I'm excited about the get-togethers, man. I'm excited about these moments. Yeah.
Because I was saying, because my dog Tank. Yeah, my dog Tank out there. My friends, what's up?
Oh yeah, that's right. The Brees boys and Tank, man, they're thick as thieves. I just don't want my boys to get Tank in trouble. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah. Hey,
no, and all our daughters, my daughter loves Riley and all them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we it's the best, bro. Yeah,
it is.
We feel the same, bro. You my favorite, bro. I love you to death, man. Anything you need from me, I got your back 1,000.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I've always appreciated not only the honesty, but that open line of communication that we've always had. Like I may not have had it with you the first 3-4 years, but this back 6, I was like, damn, these real conversations that we've had, whether it be about business, family, or anything else. I mean, it's always been like an open heart situation. And I appreciate that about you, bro. Yeah. So Mark, go ahead. Wrap my man out of here so we can get up out of here.
Man, hey, we here on the Truss Levelz. And when I tell you this episode is the definition of the biggest trust of the levels, man, this is what we got today. We got Drew Breezy, the most passing yards in NFL history, most consecutive games with a pass TD, most passing yards in a single NFL season, most completions in NFL history, second most passing touchdowns in NFL history, 5 seasons over 5,000 yards, Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP, just the GOAT. He's deeply rooted back through Texas. His daddy, his daddy's daddy, his daddy's brother, his mama's son, everybody. Just legendary. I got my co-host with me, Cam J. We got the youngest legacy over there, 6 months old. We got my man Drew Breezy, all decade, twice, Hall of Fame, first ballot, what I mean?
Ballot.
So it's just legendary on the pod today, man. I'm motivated, I'm inspired, and I appreciate my dog Drew Breezy for tapping in on the Truss Levelz, man. We love you, bro. We appreciate you.
Go ahead, baby.
Love you guys, man. Thank you.
They want to know what that trust is. It's getting Drew Breezy on the pod. You know what I mean?
I've always wanted to do that. I appreciate it. Finally, I get my chance.